Hey all, welcome to another week in 2010. And the week pretty much started off on Wednesday where I last left off, with us trying to help a Mexican doctor who was actually moving back to Mexico, shift things from her house to a friend's house. And it was pretty chaotic because we went in thinking there was a little stuff, and that's what we were told, but it ended up being quite a bit of stuff. And I'm so glad that we took a bigger vehicle to shift the things, and we took two extra hands to help us because it was really tough moving things down 3 floors and then up four again. And she had some heavy stuff. But at the end of it, we started about 9:30 and we ended at about 12:30, so it was pretty tiring. And Calcutta is getting really hot and humid, and it was just a sweat bath. And we decided to just head home after that and get some rest. And then that evening we had a prayer meeting and Bible study at Pastor's Place, which we have every Wednesday. And we actually looked at Psalm 37, which is such a great assurance to us, and it's also known as the Traveler's Psalm. Um, on Thursday, I was in the office and Pastor came in, so we met for a while. And then after work, when I got home, I decided to go for a haircut. And a little more than halfway through my haircut, the power just went off at the salon, and the generators didn't come on, so they actually decided to cut my hair using in the candlelight. And it was pretty funny because there were some ladies over there getting their eyebrows done, and they were actually doing it with a flashlight. I think these things only happen in India, but I'm sure if they happen somewhere else, I'd really love to hear about it. But thankfully the electricity came on before I left the saloon, so I could actually see if they had done a good job, and they had done an okay job, except the back of my hair just needed a little bit more shaping. But thankfully the lights came on before I left there. That night I came back and actually decided to try and make some Thai food. I had some yellow gravy paste, so I made some shrimp with the yellow gravy and had some rice with it, and it was really great. I haven't had Thai food in a while, so that was a nice meal. Friday I was in office all day, and then that evening was Gavin's birthday, so I went over to his place in the evening. And before heading out for dinner, we played a bit of Taboo, and that was real fun. And dinner was also great. We went to a place called Afra, which is a fine dining restaurant, and it was just his family and myself, so it was a nice time we spent together. Saturday morning was worship practice. I was going to be leading the service on Sunday, so I was picking songs, all having to do with Hosanna, and it's amazing the number of songs that are there, and how many we don't know. In fact, that thought comes to me every time I look through a hymnal about the number of songs that are there and how many we actually know. Anyway, after that, in the afternoon, I had a dentist appointment because I have a tooth that's been giving me some trouble, and it's been very sensitive. So I went in for a dentist appointment, and the dentist checked me out, and I even was sent for an X-ray. It was pretty cool. It was almost like being in one of these sci-fi movies, because the X-ray machine just moves around your whole mouth, and you're told to bite down on this little piece of plastic. And the dentist said there was nothing really wrong. There was a small cavity, and she recommended that I wait a few months and see how it goes, and then possibly get it filled. But as of now, she just gave me a cream to take away the sensitivity every time I have something hot or cold, and I feel it getting more sensitive. So that's actually been helping. That evening it actually rained, which is a welcome thing over here because it's really, really getting hot. And we actually went out for coffee because a friend of mine actually took me to the dentist, so we went out for coffee, and it was nice to go to Barista and have their coffee, and especially after they've tied up with another company, their coffee is like really good. That evening we watched the Book of Eli, and it's a great movie. The only thing that left me a bit disappointed was I wish they had the reference from Mark and I think Luke, where it says, "Heaven and earth shall pass, but my word shall not pass away." And I just wish that reference was there. It's a great movie. It's different to see Denzel Washington in a role like this, but it talks about the last book, last powerful book, and that's the Bible. And it's a great movie. I just wish they had that in it. We also decided to try and, when we got home, decided to try and bake a marble cake, and we ended up leaving out the baking soda, so it was pretty flat. It was a pretty flat cake. and also we made, I think, too much of the brown part of the marble cake, because marble cakes are supposed to be brown and white, so it was almost like a chocolate cake, but it was pretty nice, and I think I still have a few pieces left. Sunday was Palm Sunday, and it was a great service. It went off well. Everything went off well, and the kids did come down the center of the service waving their palm branches. And this time we ended up getting these palm branches that are slightly pokey, so the kids were poking each other, and I think they had some great fun. And quite a few kids were like, "Ooh, ow!" But it was a great service, and that afternoon we actually looked at the different passages from the scripture where it talks about Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem at the youth group, and that evening a few of us were invited to dinner to one of the people from church, and dinner was great, and they had the Wii there, so that was fun, and food was great, and it was the first time I've actually seen mustard and horseradish in tubes, almost like toothpaste, and her husband had brought that from Germany, and it's supposed to be really good for traveling around, and it's really compact, so that's why they have it in that form. On Monday morning I had breakfast with Chris, and we had just had a great time of just talking together, and spent some time in prayer, and later on in the day I decided to go out and get some stuff which mom and dad wanted me to get for them, and I had a bit of an accident with a taxi, but I was going right, and this taxi decided to cut me off from the left and like trying to overtake me, and he brushed my bumper and hit the front light, but not too much damage, so that was great. And it's just amazing, you just can't do anything about it here. These things just happen, and you just have to let it slide and pay for your own damages, I guess. Tuesday, Rahul actually got back, and we had CNC that night, and we watched the Paul Washer video that I posted below, and we had a great dinner and a great time of fellowship. And I pray that even as you go through this week, that you would take time to actually reflect on and remember the sacrifice that Christ made for us, that you have a blessed time of service and fellowship, and a great Easter, and that you're blessed, and have a great week. And until next time, God bless.